everyone. Welcome to week 8. I can't believe it, but we've reached the middle of the semester. It seems like yesterday when we reviewed the syllabus on the first day of class. But here we are. Not only does this week mark the middle of the semester, but it also marks the second grace period in our course. During this week, you may submit past due assignments for weeks 4 through 7 without penalty until the end of the day on October 22nd. This week also takes us to a new module in our course, Pseudo-People. To begin your exploration of this module, you will participate in discussion forum number 8, Pseudo-People. The module Pseudo-People, or fake people, in our course refers to the icon of robots, androids, or AI in science fiction literature. But as many of you may already know, artificial intelligence is no longer a work of science fiction, no longer a creative imagining. AI is now a part of our everyday lives. We can use conversational AI, such as a chatbot, to answer questions in a more detailed manner than a search engine. Or we can use generative AI, such as ChatGPT, to create new content, text, audio, and images, for example. So to begin thinking about pseudo-people, follow these steps for this discussion forum. First, view androids. Sophia addresses the UN, and Ted talks artificial intelligence. Next, read one of the following articles: Mark Andreessen's essay, AI Will Save the World, Paul Kingsnorth's essay, Rage Against the Machine, or the Associated Press's article, Top Leaders Urge a Pause in the Out-of-Control Artificial Intelligence Race. Then respond to one of the following writing prompts. The first prompt says to make 2 lists, one of the advantages and uses of a truly human-looking robot or android, and one of the disadvantages of such a robot. Then consider whether or not we should make such a robot, referring to the videos and/or article from steps 1 and 2. Why or why not? Or you can respond to this prompt. Think about the position that robots and artificial intelligence occupy in our culture today. Consider the videos you watched, the article you read, other films you may have seen, novels, stories, video games, advertising, etc. And write a response that sums up our culture's feelings about and responses to robots and artificial intelligence. This discussion forum is worth 10 points. Your main post is due by the end of the day on October 18th, and your reply to one peer is due by the end of the day on October 20th. In addition to starting the Pseudo-People module, you will also continue your work on the adaptation assignment. So you will participate in a class wiki for this week. Post your rough draft of the adaptation assignment to the class wiki. Your rough draft should include, if you're writing the traditional essay, option B, it should include an introduction and maybe 2 body paragraphs. If you chose the creative retelling, your rough draft could include the first paragraph or the introduction of your creative retelling and maybe 2 or 3 additional body paragraphs. Then reply to one of your peers' rough drafts. So you're going to post your rough draft to the class wiki, and then you're going to provide critical feedback to one of your peers' drafts. Your participation in the class wiki will contribute up to 10 points to your adaptation assignment. And you can go back and see the writing process and peer collaboration criteria on the adaptation assignment option A and option B rubrics. To post your draft and reply, you can check out this video, which will give you a step-by-step instructional on how to post both your rough draft and a response to a peer. When replying to a peer's rough draft, consider these questions based on the option that your peer chose to write about. So if your peer wrote a creative retelling, these are the 3 areas to focus on. 1, what grabs you about your peer's creative retelling? What strikes you? Think about your peer's use of storytelling elements such as point of view, dialogue, and setting. Begin your reply with compliments. 2, what do you think can be worked on a bit more? For instance, perhaps your peer shifts tenses without a clear reason. Or perhaps your peer can show more than tell. using dialogue and the characters' actions to reveal the story. Or perhaps the draft contains too many characters for a short scene, and it is hard to follow the action. Whatever it may be, offer a possible way to revise the draft. Lastly, think about to what extent is the creative retelling innovative? In other words, to what extent does your peer use their existing knowledge of Wells's novel, that key scene that they're adapting, to invent something new, an adaptation that speaks to our 21st century modern audience? If your peer wrote an analytical essay, these are the two areas to focus on in your response. 1, what grabs you about your peer's analytical essay? What strikes you? For example, think about your peer's thesis, use of evidence, and analysis to prove their point. Again, begin your reply with compliments. The second area to consider is, what do you think can be worked on a bit more? For instance, perhaps your peer points out the differences between the novel and the adaptation, but does not address the effect of these differences and the possible reasons for the changes in the original story. Or perhaps your peer does not provide in-depth analysis of the evidence, only skimming the surface of the differences between the novel and the adaptation. Or maybe the essay structure does not flow smoothly, with the introduction lacking key elements, such as a hook, smooth transition to the essay's overall topic, and/or a clear main idea or thesis. And maybe the body paragraphs do not quite support the thesis, so the essay seems to lack purpose or a clear point. Whatever it may be, offer a possible way to revise the draft. Post your draft to the wiki by the end of the day on October 18th, and then post your reply to a peer's draft by the end of the day on October 20th. If you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to contact me. Also, please feel free to stop by during the virtual office hours on Tuesday and Wednesday from 2 to 3 p.m. Unfortunately for this week, the virtual office hour on Thursday will be canceled due to a scheduling conflict. Well, that's it for now, everyone. Have a great week. Bye.